Gordo hasn't been in here. I was trying to explain to him reptilian people, and I thought you'd do a better job than I would. So I'm hoping that he joins. So if he does, you have to explain to him lizard people.
Okay, I'm going to cut all this out, but if Gordo does jump in, then I'm just going to start talking about
Why
lizard
did you
people.
cut this out?
I feel like out of the 22 minutes we've been recorded, we have about 180 seconds of usable content right now.
That's a goddamn lie. Have you listened to this show?
All right, you're right.
Reptilian people.
85 seconds.
It was more about because I texted Gordo. I was like, oh my God, he posted an Alex Jones clip. And he goes, I don't know who that is. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I had to explain who Alex Jones is to him.
He accidentally got involved with Alex Jones.
Our friend Nat did not post an Alex Jones video. Kyrie posted an Alex Jones video. And I asked him, I said, oh my God, did you see that?
Kyrie Irving, like the basketball player?
Yes.
Like, no, Kyrie Irving, the swimmer. Like
Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets posted a video of Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Support of Alex Jones?
It certainly was not in not support. It was about how
this guy's got to run for president. I just want to pick his brain. For
Jones or Kyrie.
What? That's a great ticket.
No, it's not.
Welcome to Sip Talk. I'm Pete Sippis, and we are back. I'm coming to you live from our brand new state-of-the-art recording studio in beautiful Clarendon, Arlington, Virginia. And by state-of-the-art, I mean my bedroom. That's very hot because I cannot run this window AC unit because it's very loud. It is not soundproof, and I'm going to be sweating the next 10 minutes. But that's besides the point because Jack Capilucci is back with us, and we are talking about America's game, America's pastime, the World Cup, soccer. We'll get to that later. Hate the uniforms. No, we are talking about the real American football. See, when I was back in Massachusetts, even in DC, I would say, oh, football is, it's the global game. It's really soccer. But now that I'm a cold-blooded Virginian, when I say football, I mean the gridiron football. I've only been in Virginia for a few weeks now, and that's what I believe. So, Jack, thank you for coming on to the show. I have my show notes here with me, and the first row just says football. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I mean, what better way to describe it? It was a great first week of football, great first couple weeks of college football. But yeah, I got killed this week in the NFL. I couldn't win a bet to save my life. And the Patriots stunk, and it was a tough week one, but football's back, and that's all that matters. What'd you see in week one you want to talk about?
Well, week one reminded me why I do not gamble on football. Since moving to Virginia, I've just had the urge to download the DraftKings app. They're not one of our sponsors, but I'd like them to be. DraftKings. Yeah, I really want to download that app and, make some bets, make a couple of dollars, take in the moolah. Pete needs a new pair of shoes. But being eliminated week one from my eliminator pool because of the Tennessee Titans was a reminder why I do not bet on football. Saquon looks kind of good. I'm usually not a big Saquon guy, but I drafted him. He's probably going to get hurt week 9, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he looked amazing. He looked fantastic. He really, I feel like it took him like a year to kind of get back into that football shape. Like last year, he didn't really look like how he did pre-injury, but he was running all over Tennessee this week. And Derrick Henry, he looked a lot better than Derrick Henry, who was the leading rusher last year before he got hurt. And Henry did not look like himself. Saquon looked freaking awesome, though.
I also realized how much I miss NFL Red Zone. Like when Scott Hansen said, we're starting 7 hours of commercial-free football. And they started, well, first off, they started us off kind of awkward because they took us to New York for Jets-Ravens because, first day of football was, 9/11. And there's that, they did the national anthem and then they tried to get the crowd to sing along. And I feel like they kind of wanted a Boston Bruins post-marathon bombing type thing where everyone comes together and sings along and it's all emotional. But I feel like it's like it has to come naturally, right? You can't just like stick the microphone out and everyone's just like, oh, like I have to sing the anthem now. It was a weird way to start Red Zone. But then, when all the games kicked off in the Octo box, oh my God, I thought I had to wipe down the couch. Xander, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'll only be here for a couple minutes because I'm about to eat some homemade pizza with some ranch. And Jordan does want us just to eat in the background, though I think that would make for good content.
I don't think that would make very good content.
Before I'm about to dip for a few minutes at least, what are our thoughts on streaming tonight? Are you guys joining solidarity and not watching the game?
Oh no, I'm totally watching the game. Over 54 lock.
I already have Prime, so well, I guess I might as well use it.
I might boycott Kirk Herbstreit and watch it on mute if that makes you feel any better.
Do you think that the schedule is about to come out in Amazon? Because this clearly should have been like the Sunday night game, right?
What's Sunday night? It's Packers Bears.
Yeah, like Packers Bears.
Why is that a Sunday night game every year?
Because Chargers Chiefs has to be the Thursday night game because Amazon was like, you better freaking right. That had to be part of it, right? They probably because last week wasn't on Amazon Prime, or was it on Prime as well?
No, this is their first game. On it.
Amazon was definitely like, you're giving us this game because if it was like Jaguars Titans, no one would tune in tonight. But they're kind of like forcing you. But I think that's gonna be Amazon's problem, right? Like when they end up getting stuck with like
with Big Daddy Bezos running the ship, they are gonna get the best games now. Monday Night Football is gonna be. I 100% think they are gonna by like 2 or 3 years from now, it's gonna be just as good as Sunday night games.
What will be a color rush?
I hope nothing. I hope Color Rush gets the Mice of Men treatment by the lake. What I do hope and what I'm really think, and if Jeff Bezos happens to be a fan of Sip Talk, then Mr. Bezos, this is for you. Throwback Thursdays, every Thursday. Now we have the throwback uniforms coming back, the multiple helmet rules in effect. You can wear anything now. We need teams every Thursday Night Football to wear throwback uniforms. Throwback Thursdays, every Thursday.
Leather pads, 1-bar helmets.
Oh yeah, I like that as well.
No forward passing.
That would be. I actually saw a take, or I saw a Reddit post of a take that Pete Blackburn had like maybe a year or two ago, where he said every MLB manager should have to manage in a uniform from the year they were born in. What if on Thursday Night Football, every player had to wear equipment from the year they were born in?
I don't think that's very safe.
That's the one way Father Time is going to beat Brady. So I'm helping the other 31 markets out.
But like, has football equipment like really adapted from Tom Brady up until the early 2000s when these people were born? Dude, have you seen what
they were wearing in the 70s? They had like 2-bar face masks that didn't go above their bottom lip.
And the best part would be we'd get to bring back Russell Athletic.
Ooh. We could get they should put holes in jerseys again. Why'd they stop doing that?
Yep. Give me some mesh pennies. I agree.
Yeah. And crop top jerseys.
Yep. I agree.
They wouldn't like that. The second cool people, the second it was like cool to wear crop tops, it was done. Second, like Sean Oakman and Zeke did it, it was like, nah. Well, like, these guys look way too athletic.
I feel like Sean Oakman ruined a lot of things.
So anyway, there's Thursday Night Football on tonight. Who do you guys like?
I'm liking the Bolts. I picked them to win the Super Bowl. I think Herbert is an incredible quarterback. Keenan Allen being out, definitely tough for the Chargers, but I feel like Herbert is the type of guy that can kind of make anyone really good. There's probably some no-name slot receiver who is just going to have a bunch of yards tonight.
What's going to happen tonight? You know what the pride of Clemson, Mike Williams, is going to do?
What's he going to do?
He's going to eat.
Can you not eat on camera? That's disgusting. How many olives are on that pizza?
No olives. It's spinach. It's healthy. As I'm about to douse it in ranch.
That's going to make this visual even worse when you open your mouth. Your teeth are just going to be green.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. I'm leaving.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Anyhow.
This is fantastic. We're back.
I think going into tonight, it's in Kansas City. You got no Keenan Allen. This would be a huge statement game from the Chargers if they win this game tonight. JC Jackson, is he playing? I think he's a game time decision, I want to say. I don't know if anything's been updated since then, but he was questionable last I saw. And I think that if the Chargers can win, Mike Williams has to have a huge game. Eckler's got to have a big game. And Derwin James has to be like elite against Travis Kelce, which he has been in the past. The Chiefs don't have Tyreek Hill to bail out when Kelsey's being locked up. But do you think they have enough firepower? Like maybe in this game, but throughout the rest of the year to get back to the Super Bowl?
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl. I'm personally under the belief that unless a quarterback is the elite of the elite of the elite, then and they're getting paid like that, you're not going to the Super Bowl. I'm a firm believer that
Patrick Mahomes isn't the elite of the elite.
I think Herbert's a better quarterback, and I don't think
Herbert's better than Patrick Mahomes.
I think in terms of value, Herbert is better than Patrick Mahomes right now in terms of value.
I mean, Herbert, they've spent a lot of money this offseason because he's not getting paid much right now.
Exactly. I don't know how this is like a controversial take, but like the key to winning the Super Bowl is not paying your quarterback a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But counter argument, money is fake in the NFL. The New Orleans Saints, I've heard every year that they like have no money and they keep signing people. It makes no sense. Like the salary cap is fake. The Rams are fake.
No, because the New Orleans Saints are fake because Sean Payton's also totally fake. I have not seen any head coach in any sport milk one championship more than that fraud. First off, Bountygate, not some little thing you can laugh at with Kevin James as, oh, I'm your wacky head coach. Like, get out of here. That's horrible Netflix film. Second off,
is Bountygate cool now because Brett Favre's a scumbag? I'd argue that like I'm pro Bountygate now, that it was against Brett Favre.
I'm anti everything that's going on down there.
You just hate. You just dislike the 2009 NFC Championship.
I mean, I just dislike the Saints and Sean Payton. And
would you rather Brett Favre have another ring?
No,
because those are your options.
Scumbag.
Those are your options.
Do you think if Brett Favre had another ring, then he would have embezzled $10 million of welfare money into a Southern Miss volleyball court?
If Brett Favre had another ring, he'd be the goddamn governor of Mississippi, dude. If he went down there, like he's one ring away from being like a top 5.
I think he will become governor of Mississippi, like now. If he wanted to. I mean, I hate to say it, but like he would have a shot even with all this shit coming out. As currently Jackson, Mississippi's fucking water is brown.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Like if you told me any city in Mississippi's water is brown, I'd believe you. I bet they're great people. I bet they're nice people. I bet it's a lovely state. But no, yeah, I just, not that Brett Favre, what he did wasn't wrong. I'm just saying that
it's totally believable.
In Brett Favre's defense, the $5 million is not going to fix anything in Mississippi for how fucked up that state is.
It's not going to fix anything, but considering they're the poorest state and the most need of welfare, and it's $5 million are supposed to go to welfare, like again, that's not going to fix all the state's problem. It's more about the people, because $5 million goes a long way in education and food stamps and like transit, anything.
If
not
that
a volleyball court, that's a mid-major school.
Sip, you got two options. That $5 million either in Brett Favre's pockets or Lane Kiffin's pockets. Those are the two places it's going in Mississippi. I'm going to be completely honest with you, pal.
Here's the thing. I can't shit on Mississippi too much because I went after Mississippi last week. I was so fucking cocky heading into this U of A football game. Oh my God. Just railing on him the entire snap story with just clips of Chris Rock and Daniel Tosh and other stand-up comedians ripping on the state of Mississippi. Stay up till 11 p.m. for the kickoff. And then, didn't go very well. I think I gave up at 1:30 in the morning. U of A football is going to be the death of me. We played North Dakota State this week. Another 11 p.m. kickoff. I don't think I'm going to watch because I didn't watch the last time we played an FCS team, NAU, and we lost that. And I feel like, first off, we're going to lose to North Dakota State. That program exists to beat teams like us. Who was the moron at my university who decided to schedule them? Like, we're going to invite them into our own home? Like, we're going to lose by 30. Like, I don't know why anyone would ever do that. And me watching U of A play an FCS team, there's nothing good that comes out of that. Either I'm up till 2 a.m. and they win, and I'm like, well, we did what we were supposed to do. It's an FCS team. Or I stay up till 2 a.m. or even earlier because we are losing bad, and we're an absolute joke. So this, I think, is the 1 week where I'm actually not going to watch U of A football. I think it'll benefit my mental health.
All right. NFL week 2 coming up, starting tonight. Thursday night football, the Chargers at the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. We're gonna run some picks right now. We're gonna see how we do. Everyone can make fun of us when we inevitably lose all of them. So here we go. Chargers at the Chiefs. Chiefs by 4 is the spread. Thoughts? What are you going?
Picking the Bolts, baby. Doggy.
Money line, straight up.
I'll pick them against the spread.
Pick them against the spread. Yeah, it's in Kansas City. I think Mahomes is a chip on his shoulder. I'm going to go Kansas City -4. I do think Herbert is still the league MVP this year. Next up, this is a terrible game. We have the New York Jets going into Cleveland to face the Browns. Going to be Joe Flacco against Jacoby Brissett at the helm. It is a 6.5 point spread, 6.5 for the Browns. What are your thoughts?
The Jets are god-awful as a team. The Browns are god-awful as an organization. Give me the Jets against the spread.
Yeah, I think when two teams are bad, the game is just close, regardless of who they are. If they both stink, neither's going to score points. I'd be surprised if either team gets above 20 in this game. I'm going to go the Jets plus 6.5. Let's let the running backs get into it. All right, next up, Tampa Bay. The Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going into New Orleans as 2.5 point favorites. Haven't been great against New Orleans in Tom Brady's career in Tampa. Only win is the playoff game against the Saints. What are your thoughts? Tampa at New Orleans, Tampa by 2.5. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Tom Brady and Tampa Bay. We're talking about chips on the shoulder. I feel like Brady has got a chip on his shoulder because everyone's talking about his marriage that may or may not be imploding. I don't want to talk about that. Give the man his privacy. He also might have pieces of himself chipping off of his chin. He looks very different. His hair is stapled on. I think when he said, I'm going through some shit, I'm 45, he was restructuring his face. That's okay. Still looks good. Taking the Bucks.
Yeah, Tom Brady's still a model, still beautiful. No matter what his face looks like, I'm going with the Bucks 2.5. All right, moving on. Carolina at the Giants. Giants coming off the win. Carolina coming off a heartbreaking loss against Cleveland in MetLife Stadium. Giants are 2-point favorites. What are you thinking?
I did used to love the Carolina Panthers, and I really do not like the Giants. However, I'm going to take what I think is the educated pick and go with the Giants because this seems perfect for them to start off 2-0 and then absolutely start sucking. This seems like a total Giants thing to do, building up false hope and then tearing them down.
Yeah, I think the logical pick here is to pick the Giants. I'm not going to bet on this game in real life. So how about I get a little crazy with it? And I'm going to go Panthers money line. I think Baker is going to bounce back, try to show what he's worth in Carolina. I don't think it can get worse than losing to your former team on a last second field goal. Let's go with I'm going to go with the Panthers straight up. Okay. Next up, the New England Patriots, the greatest dynasty of all time, will be traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers, to the stadium formerly known as Heinz Field. I refuse to call it by its new name. Patriots are 2-point favorites on the road. What do you think?
Oh my God. They did not look good against Miami. I don't think Mac is bad. I just think they're still working a lot of the kinks out. Again, oh God, I really hate the Steelers. Like I cannot stand Steelers fans. I'm gonna go with the Pats.
Yeah, I want to go with the Pats. I think I will go with the Pats. Mac Jones coming off a back injury kind of worries me. I feel like this 2-point spread though is like super disrespectful of Pittsburgh, right? After beating Cincinnati on the road, and now New England lost by 13 last week to Miami. This feels a little crazy, doesn't it?
Trap game for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I feel like there has to be a reason the Patriots are 2-point favorites on the road. Not going against my team. I'm betting Patriots -2. All right, next up, the Indianapolis Colts are going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Colts are 3.5-point favorites on the road. What are your thoughts?
I think we're going to see another tie in the AFC South, and I'm going with a tie.
If there's a tie this week between the Colts and the Jaguars, I don't even know what I'll give you. I'll sign my house away from you.
Lock it in. Colts, Jags, tie.
Wow, that's insane. I'm gonna take the Colts, 3.5. Yeah, moving on. Miami goes to Baltimore. Miami fresh off a win. Baltimore fresh off a win. Baltimore 3.5 point favorites in Baltimore against the Finns. The Fish looked good last week. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens, and I will take them take the money line. But I think it will be close throughout most of the game. But I think the Ravens will pull ahead in the fourth.
Yeah, I'm taking Ravens 3.5. I think Lamar Jackson's a man on a mission this year trying to get his contract. Moving on, your new hometown team, the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commies are playing in Detroit against the Lions. Lions are a 1 point favorite. What do you got?
Dan Campbell, baby, ride or die.
All right, there we go. I'm with Dan Campbell as well. Next up, Seattle coming off the Monday night win against the San Francisco 49ers in San Fran, 8.5 point Niners favorites. What are you thinking?
That's a big spread. Love my guy Gino. I'm gonna take Seattle against the spread.
Yeah, big spread. I feel like it's a tough spread to cover, but I think Seattle blew their load last week. I'm going, no, I'm going to go Seattle plus 8.5. Trey Lance stinks. Atlanta at LA 10 point favorites. I'm going with LA. It's going to be a blowout.
I'm also gonna go with LA blowout, even though I love / hate Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch this next game either. It's Houston, Denver by 10 over Houston. Think Denver. I'm going to go Denver -10.
I think Houston's gonna cover.
This is an interesting one. Cardinals going to Vegas, 5.5 point dogs. Raiders favored by 5.5. Both these teams coming off losses. The Cardinals was pretty humiliating. The Raiders was close, but Derek Carr didn't look good. Targeted Devontae Adams about 1,000,000 times. What are you thinking?
I don't play Call of Duty. Is it a double XP weekend this weekend?
I don't play Call of Duty either, but was last weekend a double XP weekend? Because Kyler Murray sure played like it was.
It might have been. God, I do always love the Raiders, but you know what? I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals have to bounce back in this one. I don't know if they win the game, but I think they cover 5.5. Simply because they know how competitive and how good they have to be in this NFC West to stay afloat. And last week was unacceptable. Raiders are also going to be looking to bounce back. I think the Raiders probably win at home, but I think the Cardinals definitely cover a 5.5 point spread.
I think the Cardinals cover, but I'm also going to add this little tidbit here. Cliff Kingsbury, hot seat.
Yeah, really. He wasn't a great coach at Texas Tech. People forget that. Let a lot of good quarterbacks walk out that door.
Cliff Kingsbury, also hot without the seat, but I also think he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, he's a hot man. He probably makes any seat he sits on very hot, but he's also on the hot seat. Moving forward. The Cincinnati Bengals, coming off the loss, will be going to Jerry's World, Dallas Cowboys in AT&T Stadium without the starting quarterback, Dak Prescott. Bengals on the road are a 7-point favorite against the Cooper Rush-led Cowboys. What do you think?
Oof. I do hate the Cowboys, and I'm not the biggest fan of the state of Ohio. I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's not turning the ball over 5 times again anytime soon. And that's the only reason the Steelers won that game last game. He had 4 interceptions and a fumble. However, Cooper Rush in his only start last year, they were a 7-point underdog to Minnesota, and they won the game outright. So, knowing both those pieces of information, Bengals are going to cover 7-point favorites. I almost picked the Cowboys. I wanted to. I really did. I thought about it. All right, Sunday Night Football. It's the annual Aaron Rodgers versus the Chicago Bears on Sunday Night Football. This year it is in Green Bay. I feel bad for Chicago fans. They basically just once a year are known they're going to get humiliated. It's like they're going to get shamed throughout the whole NFL world, dragged through the street naked, and the bell ringing, shame, shame, shame. Every year against Aaron Rodgers, just absolutely belittled on national television. 9.5-point favorites. What do you think is going to happen?
I think the Bears cover. I also think that the Bears, I'm not a big Bears person. However, Aaron Rodgers, with that new slick back hair he's got, that Peaky Blinders cut he's got rocking, I'm not a fan. And I think not only will the Bears cover, I got the Bears winning outright.
Wow. Oh my God. That's a pick. We just have that is a pick.
What's a hotter pick? Me picking the Bears over the Packers or me predicting another tie?
Definitely the tie, but it's not that far off with the Bears track record against Rodgers, to be honest with you. Justin Fields they looked good last game. They beat it was a monsoon, so you can't really take anything from it, but they beat the 49ers pretty handedly.
I'm looking at 70% chance of rain at kickoff on Sunday.
Monsoon Fields is back at it again. Slip and slide at the end of the game. You see that? It's pretty cool.
Dude, those lines looking squiggly.
It's pretty cool. Well, the thing is, Justin Fields, he looks like a cartoon turtle. Kind of looks like Rajon Rondo. Are turtles good in the rain?
I think so. I mean, some are amphibious. Are they all amphibious? No, turtles are amphibians.
I don't think some
Are they reptiles? Wait. No, tortoises are reptiles. Turtles are amphibians. I think.
A tortoise was just an old turtle.
No, I believe. No, tortoise is land based. Yeah, hang on. Let me check this. I feel like
Are sea turtles their own thing?
I went to Drummond Farm for summer camp like 13 years in a row. I feel like I should know this.
This means something for my pick. I need to know.
Tortoises have more rounded and domed shells, where turtles have thinner, more water dynamic shells. Turtle shells are more streamlined to aid swimming. One major key difference is that tortoises spend most of their time on land, and turtles adapt for life spent in water. But are they both amphibians or reptiles? Though turtles live in or around water bodies, they are not amphibians, they are reptiles. Okay. Like a salamander is an amphibian. You know that.
Are turtles good in water?
Yes, turtles are good in water.
And Franklin is a turtle, not a tortoise.
Franklin is a turtle. Yes.
Give me the Bears plus 9.5.
Yes, join the dark side.
All right. Next up, we have 2 Monday night games this week. I'm not quite sure why. We got one at 7:15 and one at 8:30. I don't care. More football. It's better than having 3 4:25 games. I'd rather just have one less of those. The first one at 7:15, the Tennessee Titans are going to the Buffalo Bills. It is a huge spread for 2 teams that made the playoffs last year. Buffalo is a 10-point favorite. Bills Mafia, they keep it rolling?
Yeah, I think the Bills Mafia keep it rolling. God damn, Josh Allen's so good at football. Oh my God. Yeah, that Bills team looks incredible. Stephon looks incredible. Yeah, I got Bills winning by a fuck ton, whatever more the spread is.
Yeah, they look insane. They look amazing. They're going to be amazing this year. 10 points against a team that's going to be a little hungry, losing to the New York Giants last week. They're either dead or they're hungry. That's the problem is if you lose to the New York Giants, you get upset at home I think it was at home against the Giants. You're either going to be dead in the water and lose by 1 billion, or you're going to come alive and it's going to be a good game. There's no in between. This won't be like a 12, 13-point game. This is a 20-point win or like a 2-point loss. You know.
And I'm gonna then honestly, dude, lock me in for a 20-point win.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think Bills win the game. I think by 7. I think they win by a touchdown.
Okay.
All right. Last game, Minnesota at Philadelphia. Both teams that looked great last weekend. The Eagles are a 2-point favorite. What do you think?
Oh, dude, give me Minnesota outright. Are you kidding me?
I think this is my pick of the week. I think
Justin Jefferson, him. The fact that him and Cooper Kupp are playing football at the same time is absolutely ridiculous. You cannot guard Justin Jefferson. It's impossible. And honestly, Kirk Cousins gets a lot of shit because he dresses like Tim Duncan, but he's not a terrible quarterback. He is the definition of average quarterback. You look through his football reference and it's literally painfully average. His record's always going to be 500 until I die. I'm liking the Vikings this year. I'm liking the Vikings to win the division. You can lock that one in.
Green Bay's Green Bay, but I think the Vikings will be really good. If Green Bay struggles again and the Vikings get out to an early division lead, I think they hold it. However, when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, is that they're going to figure it out. They're going to find something. They might even go out and sign Odell. That's a rumor I heard. Get Aaron Rodgers a number 1 receiver. I'm still torn on that division. The Vikings look really good, though. I think Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in football. I don't think the Eagles are that good. They looked good this week, but they played the Detroit Lions, and the Lions almost came back and won.
Yeah, I think the Lions end up with a little backdoor cover, did they not?
Yeah, I had the Eagles by 4. Thank you very much. And so that was painful. It was a 3-point game. Yeah, I'm going with the Vikings outright. That's my pick of the week. That's my dog of the week. Yours was Chicago. Mine's Minnesota. You also have Minnesota though too. So you got two outright winners.
I also have a tie.
You have the Chargers winning tonight too. You got 3 dogs.
Bolt up, baby.
Hungry dog parlay. You got Chargers money line, Bears money line, Vikings money line. You make a lot of money if that hits. You can thank Peter Sippis for that one.
Lock it in. Or fade me. You can fade me too. Go
Yeah.
for it. I don't care. I'm not betting. I need to keep my money. All right, Cap, we are heading into week 3 of the college football season. I'll be totally honest with you. I've watched a fair amount. I think I have a general idea of who the best teams are. However, you say you want to pick playoff teams. I'm just here for the absolute chaos and madness that is college football. Personally, I want to talk about Appalachian State, or as I call them, America's team, America's school, Appalachian State, and those bums at Texas A&M.
They're App State hosting game day this weekend. Luke Combs, celebrity guest picker, App State alum.
Boone, beautiful piece of country out there, Boone, North Carolina. Let me tell you. No, I have not, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, I mean they should be undefeated right now. They tried a 2-point conversion twice in that North Carolina game.
I was at a bar in Penn Quarter Sports Tavern, because that's where the U of A alumni meet up for games that don't kick off at an unreasonable hour on the East Coast. And everyone was there to watch like different games. There's some University of Miami fans. There's Oregon fans who are drowning their sorrows watching that Oregon Georgia game. There's some Nebraska fans who are just like, I want to watch them play North Dakota. And it's like, why'd you want to do that? But no one was watching the game that they showed up for. Everybody in the bar was watching Appalachian State and rooting for them to win. Like, that was one of the most insane games I've ever seen. And on the other side of that was fucking Iowa football.
Yeah, that North Carolina App State game and then like every Iowa game this year are kind of on like the two sides of the spectrum versus like how fun college football can be versus like how terrible college football can be.
You know what my problem with Iowa is that somehow, as horrible as their offense looks, they are still going to be relevant for like a good portion of the season, because they are just going to, even though they lost to the Cyclones 10-7, I feel like Kirk Ferentz is going to pull whatever witchcraft he's been hiding in Iowa City with all those nepotism hires, racist strength coaches, putting a committee together to say, hey, what's the problem? The committee's like, you're the problem. He goes, oh, committee's gone. They're going to make a bowl game. They're somehow going to stay relevant. And you know that they are going to be mean to poor Gus Johnson, who is absolutely electric, who should be calling games that are in 60 to 55. And Gus Johnson's going to be like, and it's another fullback dive, 2nd and 8.
Yeah. They run like the worst offense ever. And it's like, it has to be worse being an Iowa fan, like when your team's bad and like they're not scoring points either. But would you rather watch this season as an Iowa fan or a Nebraska fan?
So I have been talking to my Nebraska sources, and I think I would pick Iowa over Nebraska just because like Nebraska just looks really bad. Like Nebraska just looks incompetent. Iowa, I feel like Iowa knows what Iowa is. And they're just going to be like, yeah, we're going to march down the field one fullback dive at a time and get 7 points with 0 touchdowns, which is insane. Nebraska just looks like pure incompetence. Just like blowing leads, barely beating North Dakota, Georgia Southern. Like, it just looks painfully incompetent. And for a coach who was supposed to be this big hire, who is this big name with a self-declared champion in fucking Orlando. I mean, look, like, I'm a University of Arizona fan. We we have been the worst Power 5 team in the last 2 years. Like, that's a fact. Tom Fornelli had us.
But
Tom Fornelli of CBS Sports had us in the bottom 25 2 years in a row now, and we barely got through that fake bottom playoff through the simulation game versus El Paso. Love Tom Fornelli. Shout out to him. No, but like, at least the University of Arizona, like, I don't know if you saw that Jane Delora play where he's just going straight Madden and he's scrambling back and forth and then just hucks one up and it's an interception. It's like playing the lottery. They're going to pass the ball. And I'm like, it's either going to be picked or it's going to be a 50-yard gain. I don't know, but it's kind of fun. It's exciting. We're only going to win 2 games, but it'll be fun.
Well, I think like the difference between being an Arizona fan and being an Iowa fan in Arizona on one side and being a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan on the other side is that Nebraska fans like expect to be good because they consider their program a blue blood college football program. I don't think anyone else anymore considers them a blue blood anymore. I think you can't be bad for like 20 years and still you can't be not in a BCS bowl for this long and be a blue blood program no matter how much success you had. I don't think Miami's a blue blood anymore. I don't think Nebraska is. USC is, I mean, they are, but they're borderline. Like they're almost falling out of relevancy before that they went out and got their guy in Lincoln Riley. But there's kind of this delusion in Nebraska fans that it's all going to come back to glory someday. And I feel like that makes it just like the absolute worst. Because especially now in like the times of NIL and like people moving around and stuff, like you can get good fast, but you have to have the money and the resources to do it. In Nebraska, they got a lot of money, but getting recruits to come to Nebraska is a lot harder than it was in the 1990s when it was like, hey, we're going to be on national TV every year. This is the only way people are going to see you because we win, and you're going to get stud players that way. Now, I don't know. I don't think they are. I think their fans see themselves still as in that top tier of historical college football programs, which granted they are, but that doesn't really mean anything. Like they are not a blue blood anymore, and they have to accept that and they have to go from there.
Yeah, I think the whole NIL thing, one thing you have to look at is the generation of players who are about to come up in NIL, who are in high school. Like it is all about branding and location and where you want to go. Like unless you have a ton of money coming in and it's like, yeah, I'll gladly go to Lincoln, Nebraska if I can just be that guy. But the problem is that they don't have the image of being that guy in Lincoln, Nebraska, because like there hasn't been anything relevant there going on. Like I think if you think about from a basketball standpoint, Lawrence, Kansas is not the most desirable place to go in general. But if you're a basketball player, then being that guy at Kansas is insane. And all the resources that they have, and it's a blue blood basketball program, and you know that could be your ticket to the NBA. And if it's not, you're going to be just great set financially, even with the NIL, because it's that program. And you know that because these recruits know that Kansas is that school.
Yeah.
That's one little bit of hope I have with the University of Arizona basketball is that we're at least still relevant to an extent. People have grown up watching us playing in big games. Mm-hmm. I've been following college football since I was maybe like 10, 11. So I would say probably like a decade now. Man, like I haven't seen Nebraska playing in any huge games. No, I know the program, but that's only because of like some documentary that was on E60 or 30 for 30 or something.
100%.
I've been following the sport for a decade and I haven't seen Nebraska playing the games that Michigan or Ohio State or even Iowa, as much as I rip on them, they've at least managed to fraud their way into some big time games and big primetime games and conference championships.
Yeah, I think the perfect comparison for Nebraska is they're like college football's version of UNLV for college basketball. Like, yeah, you were great once upon a time and like you were considered like a dynasty program, but they are simply just, they're not a blue blood anymore. And I think that you can't just like I don't want to say the cards are stacked against Scott Frost, because even if the expectations were like a mid-level Power 5 school's expectations, he would have failed them completely. I think like if he was at like Pittsburgh or BC, he would have been fired too at this point. Like, I think he honestly got an even longer leash because he is like the hometown kid. But yeah, I think like the most apt comparison is that they are the exact same that UNLV is for basketball. It's like, yeah, you were the guy once upon a time, but you're not them anymore. And you need to like adapt to the current times and go from there. before we have to head out of here, I do want to get a couple weeks in college football playoff. Who do you got?
I mean, I guess I got to go Alabama and Georgia. I feel like Alabama's going to get as Alabama did not look great against Texas. I feel like there'll still be Alabama, even if they aren't the best. The committee's going to do their thing and get Alabama in. See, at the beginning of the season, I'm having tough now because I was convinced that Utah was going to run the table, but they are not.
Still could.
I think if they run the table, they're still not getting in.
They lost an out of conference game.
Still, I mean, I guess
they beat USC and then go and beat like Oregon.
Yeah, I guess Oregon would be going. Yeah, you know what? I still have faith in Utah. Why not? We'll keep Utah there. So we'll go Alabama. We'll go Georgia. This is not any seeding order. Alabama, Georgia, Utah. I feel like the Big 12 gets left out again. So then the question is who in the Big 10? I really see the bad thing is
ACC is getting shut out too.
I think the ACC does get shut out again. And I think that's a tough thing with Utah. It is a one-loss team, but I feel like they could still run the table, and then they just have that one loss to a good Florida team who I still think will be relevant. So it'll still look like a good loss. I'm trying to think Big Ten. I've only watched bad Big Ten football. So
Ohio State, you got to go then, right?
But it's just going to be another Ohio State, Georgia, Bama again.
I mean, it's more likely than not that's usually
what happens. I guess that's safe. So, I guess I'll ride with that, but I'm not happy with it. I mean, I feel like that's gonna be the playoff again, but I'm still probably going to be hesitant to actually watch the playoff if that's the playoff again, because I'm just gonna be bored.
I think my preseason Heisman pick, Mr. Caleb Williams, is going to lead the University of Southern California to a 12-0 record and get people very upset about the NIL free agent team that they have over there. And I think they will make it. I don't know if they can win it, but I think they can make it. And another team, depending on his injury, that I don't think makes it this year, but next year is their year. Depending on how long he's out, the University of Texas Longhorns, if they can get Ewers back, if they can level the water without him, they have games against Baylor, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma to still going in this year. If they win out and then win the Big 12, they are still in with the way that they played Alabama really close. I want to take them. I'm not going to, but don't be surprised if they are there. I'm going to go with Michigan because I think that they finally have a quarterback. I think McCarthy is really good. I think it's insane that they ever thought about running a 2-quarterback system and that he wasn't going to be the guy, and that he wasn't the guy last year, even though he's been on this roster now for 3 years and been behind McNamara. So I'm going Michigan, USC, Alabama, Georgia. Don't be surprised if Texas is in there instead of one of those teams, especially if one of the SEC teams trips up. Clemson's obviously right at the door. I don't think they get in. Ohio State, obviously. I just think Ohio State probably will get in. I'm just trying to do something a little bit different than yours. Utah, going to be the winner of the Utah USC game will probably get in if they run the table elsewhere. So I think one of us will be right there. Michigan, Ohio State, I feel the same way about. So it's really just if the only thing that screws that up is if Clemson goes undefeated or if Texas just looks amazing the rest of the year, which is crazy because they're unranked right now, but I still see a path to the playoff for them. But I think Clemson's losing. Red Band, they're the BC Red Bandana game, the history of that game. Pretty much if you're a top 10 team, you go into Boston College on their Red Bandana game, you lose. So book it. Clemson's going to lose against BC Red Bandana game. Yeah, that's what I got. I think that's.
I have another hot take that involves ACC football.
What's up?
I believe that Old Dominion University will beat the University of Virginia Cavaliers, because not only did my now local state university, Old Dominion University Monarchs, beat Virginia Tech, they have as their team ambassador a very adorable puppy named Hudson, who is a service dog in training. Hudson ODU on Twitter. He is the most adorable little dog you've seen, and he wears little light blue Crocs. He's absolutely adorable. Those cowards at the University of Virginia even though he is a certified service animal in training, is certified to be on the sidelines, on the field with his
They're not letting the
team.
dog in?
They are not letting Hudson on the sidelines.
Wow. Oh my
The University of
God.
Virginia is not letting Hudson on the sidelines.
Well, that
And
changes everything.
Because of that, Old Dominion University Monarchs are beating the Cavaliers.
Yeah, that's
going to be a bloodbath. How dare you? I don't know. If you look at photos of this dog, you cannot look at that dog in the eyes and tell him, no, get off the sidelines. If those sick fucks at University of Virginia think that they can leave my beloved Hudson off the sidelines, they're in for a rude awakening. Old Dominion this weekend.
I have a pretty simple philosophy when it comes to my betting system, and that is that if there's anything to do with a mascot, specifically just like, it's like the Butler Bulldogs final game, or like the Bevo died, like stuff like that, I will always bet on the team who's having the storyline with the mascot. So yeah, I guess I'm all over Old Dominion this week. Yeah, perfect. I guess that's the perfect way to end this thing, is that we are justice for Hudson, Old Dominion.
Justice for Hudson. I love it. That's gonna be the name of this episode. Justice for Hudson.
Perfect.
Go Monarchs.
Yeah, who are they playing? The Cavaliers?
Cavaliers, University of Virginia.
Yeah, they're gonna win. They already beat Tech, right? They beat Virginia Tech.
Yes, they did beat Virginia Tech week 1. It was a great game.
Virginia Tech doesn't look bad. I mean,
and Hudson had his little Crocs and they had goggles, and he ran onto the field when they won, and he was adorable.
And Virginia Tech beat Boston College by like 17. And so, I mean, Virginia Tech's not that team. Yeah, fuck it. Old Dominion money line. All right.
Old Dominion, baby. Justice for Hudson.
Yep, that's how we're going to wrap this up.
I'm Pete Sibbis. This is Sip Talk. Thanks for listening.